Okay, so ramen, probably one of my favourite things to eat. I cook it all the time, and we're going to make it a little bit fancy today. We're going to make some soy marinated eggs in a way that makes them look all marbled and cool. If you guys could put some eggs into some boiling water for me, I'm going to say 5. No, 4. Let's do 4.
Timer. How long are you wanting to cook
6
for?
minutes.
Do you want an interesting food safety fact?
Yes.
Outside of an egg is really disgusting and very dirty. I imagine
Is that
supermarket
a
ones.
fact?
Because you would wash your hands after touching raw meat.
Yeah.
But would you think to wash your hands after touching an egg?
I wouldn't think that.
Yeah. That's came out of chicken's arse.
4 eggs should be plenty.
Well, safety egg just in case.
Yeah, maybe one more just in case. So while that's happening, we are going to crack on with the marinade that's going to go in our egg. So we've got some dark soy sauce here, which is just going to go into the bowl. Okay, so just a little splash of rice wine vinegar, like that. And then a couple of cloves of garlic. Just crush your garlic like that under a big knife, and then we'll just dump that right into the marinade. So that'll be pretty much ready to go.
Okay, Greg, so we've got 15 seconds left on the eggs.
Lovely. So once they are cooked, I like to take them out and put them into some cold water just to cool down the outside enough that you can kind of handle them, and we can kind of break the shells up a little bit. That's probably cold enough. You don't want to cool them down completely, because then it won't take on the good flavour. Like kind of hot eggs into the soy sauce should hopefully soak up some of the flavour. So shall we all have a go at cracking some eggs? So we want to crack the shell without breaking them too hard. So maybe just kind of get it going, and then that looks pretty good. Yeah, something like that I would say. Just so that the shell is kind of broken and there's sort of lines forming, which should that looks pretty good.
How it marbles.
Yeah, that should be where the soy sauce and the marinade kind of goes in, and should create a nice marble effect to the eggs after. So once they're cracked, kind of like that, we'll just put them straight into the marinade. 4 eggs, and then Ross, if you could,
Cold water?
yeah, cold water's fine. If you could just top this up to cover, and we'll give them a mix. So there we are. That's our eggs onto marinade. You should leave these for around half an hour minimum.
So what are we cooking next, Greg?
We're going to be cooking some ramen vegetarian style to cater for myself and Ross. First off, we're going to make our sort of spicy, corny, mincy sort of filling for the ramen, if you will. We start off by making a little paste. So we've got a blender over there, and we're just going to add a few ingredients to it. We're going to add half a chilli, quite roughly, just so it's small enough for the blender. It's going to get blitzed up into a nice paste. We're going to add 4 garlic cloves to it, a nice sort of thumb-sized piece of ginger, just roughly cut up, and then we're going to add a red onion as well. This should just make a quite like sort of nice aromatic kind of paste that will mix through the corn and actually make it taste real good. All this into the blender. We're going to use some red miso paste. You can use normal miso paste if you want. We're going to put a teaspoon of chili flakes in. You can leave this out if you don't want it to be too spicy. And then we're also going to add half of a leek. We're just going to use the sort of white bit of the leek, because that's the tastiest. You can just blend that up. There we go. So we've got a nice paste here that's blitzed down, not too fine. We just need to take a nice big handful of this into a sort of preheated pan.
So should that be on like a high heat?
It should be nice and high. You don't want to burn it, but it should be sort of medium high. This should just sort of like cook off. You just kind of want to take the kind of raw edge off of it, crisp it, like soften everything down a little bit, kind of get the flavours going a little bit more than you already have from the blend. But that's starting to smell pretty good now. I think we're pretty much ready to crack on with the corn mince. So if you could just pour that in for us, Mark.
How much are you wanting? You want to use all of it?
Pour half in, and let's have a look at that. That looks a little bit more. There we go. That looks about right. You want a good ratio of like the sort of paste to the corn mince. This looks about right. Yeah, so that's the corn mince kind of cooked through. It's basically just warmed through and kind of mixed in with the paste. So I'm going to turn the heat off now and just kind of leave that to rest. As a little bit of extravagance, I'm going to put a big knob of butter in there and just kind of leave that to sit and amalgamate and just kind of make it really, really tasty. Because the because the pork doesn't have, because it's corn mince, it doesn't have the same fat as say pork or something like that. Yeah. Just a little bit of, just to kind of mix.
Everything tastes better.
Yeah, it's never a bad idea. You can just leave that to rest in a kind of warm place until the rest of the ramen is ready. Next up, we're going to work on the actual ramen broth itself. Yeah, we're using a vegetable stock. Basically buy as high quality as you possibly can. We're going to bring that up to the boil so it's ready to go. We're going to use a good dollop of miso paste into the ramen, and then I would mix that through thoroughly. It really is a kind of like taste as you go kind of stock, because everyone's stock's going to be a little bit different, and like the amount of miso you put in, if you like it really miso-y, like almost like miso soup, then you can have it like that. Do you want to give that a taste?
I do.
Let me know what you think. While Ross is doing that, Mark, if you could quarter up this pak choy. Very nice. So we're just going to blanch this off just now in a big pan of water. We're going to use that to stick that straight into the boiling water. And we're also going to put in at the same time a handful of our bean sprouts. I quite like a lot of veggies in the ramen. It just kind of freshens it all up quite a lot. Put that into the sort of boiling water and blanch that for about a minute. And then we're actually going to dress that with some sesame oil once it comes out of the pan, just to kind of add a bit of flavour to that. You're just trying to, basically a sort of like component soup where you want to make everything taste as good as you possibly can. Okay, nice. So that's been about a minute, and our pak choy and bean sprouts are cooked. We're just going to drain them out, keep the hot water because we're going to use that for the noodles right now. So we're just going to dress that with a little bit of sesame oil, not too much because sesame oil can be quite a powerful flavour. Yeah.
Just a couple of splashes?
Yeah, just a splash, just to kind of coat it all. We've just got some nice dried ramen noodles. The stuff you get out of a packet is totally fine. I find, yeah, you don't like. So we're just going to put it into the hot water that we've already used and cook that for about a minute, basically just until they're tender. So, our noodles are now cooked and we're pretty much ready to assemble this dish. So we'll start off with the nudes. Okay, so we're going to get a nice portion of the corn mixture that's been sitting warming. A nice big piece of the pak choy here. Over at the other side, and then some of the bean sprouts which have been warming in the sort of sesame oil, taking on some nice flavour. And then Mark's ready with some spring onions, which look real good.
There we go.
In fact, they will go on last. I've changed my mind. We're going to put on our nice marinated egg that we made earlier. Oh, there we go. That's nice. That's cooked exactly how you want. A little bit of Parmesan cheese helps to add a little bit of meaty flavour that you wouldn't normally get with vegetarian ramen, but it makes a big difference.
The whole thing.
It really does. And now, just ready to pour over our broth. And now top with a little bit of spring onion and a little bit of sesame seeds to top. And that is some spicy miso vegetarian ramen.
There we go.
Terrific. It's all well and good to have a laugh, but we won't be able to keep the lights on unless you buy the album. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thanks.